Okay, ads are over already. Because they happened way sooner than I expected. Huh. Just kidding. Hello. Long time no see. It's been such a long time since my last stream, and yeah, I don't really have a plan for today. I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired. So I thought I might as well put this up for suggestion, just working on stuff. Because that's probably what I would have done anyway. Because this code needs to be documented. This code looks so horrible. This code, nobody should ever code the way I do. But I do, so I have to deal with that. Yeah. So yeah, we're probably not going to make too much progress because I still don't know what's actually causing the issue I want to fix. But I might as well document my code so at least it's readable. So, oops, wrong scene. Might as well do that. And yeah, last time we implemented the loading code, which still doesn't completely work, if you remember. This is capture? Sort of. My window captures broke for some reason, like my captures for Godot. I think it recognizes the capture method wrong, because it can either detect it for Windows 7 and up or Windows 10 and higher. And for some reason it uses the Windows 7 version, despite the fact that I'm on Windows 11. Even if I don't want to. So yeah, I don't know what's causing that issue, but I'll figure that out eventually. So yeah, last time we implemented the level loading code, which is sort of working. The camera is now working, which is good. But we have this weird hitch when we load a level. And I don't know what exactly is the issue behind that. But that's not what we're going to deal with today. This might need some more work to deal with. And especially a lot more brain power than I currently have, so... Why did the... Did the camera trigger not work? Oh, maybe, maybe it's because I... Yeah, it's when I climb out of the camera trigger. If I fall into it, it activates the lower trigger. Like, there are two directions, as we have established, for the camera trigger. Up and down. This one is up. So, if we go up, it allows us to go there, but if we go down, it doesn't. And if we grab onto the ledge while going down, we never go up, because that's not what happens when we use the ledge grab. That's fascinating. Should be easy enough to fix, but it's fascinating that it's happening. But we'll take care of that later. For now, we are just cleaning up these scripts. Since I've been experimenting a bit with documentation, so we have now some documentation that doesn't work everywhere, apparently. So I need to check what is going wrong there. But there are a lot of things you can just do like this, where you enter the class name of a thing and then it links to the documentation of that class. And I think that's why this is not working, because camera isn't a class and limit node isn't a class that we have documented yet. So this should say camera 2D limits. And limit node just doesn't have the documentation yet because, well, I haven't written it yet. Camera 2D is something that's built into Godot, but limit node isn't. So yeah, at the moment I'm mainly just rewriting the documentation to properly link to everything, and yeah. So, how's everyone doing? We have a lot of time. This isn't a lot I can really talk about, so we can just talk about whatever. I haven't done such an unprepared stream in a long time, honestly. Like, a stream where I didn't really have anything prepared to talk about, or something I can talk about a lot. So this is a weird experience for me, actually. Player camera, which... player... If its player enters the trigger from opposite direction. Think that works that way? Yeah. Limit node that tells the player camera, which currently we don't have a documentation for the player camera either, because I have only written 2 documentations yet. We're getting there. tells the player camera which limits it should use if its player enters the camera trigger from the opposite direction. Yeah. And the same can be applied the other way around. From the intended direction. Which, I'm not sure, but I think that might also show up here now. Yeah. Which means if we hover over... I don't know if you can see that. If I hover over the limit variable here, or parameter, I can see the documentation of that parameter. I wonder if I can highlight the intended part, because that's kinda important. I actually... let me move that to a new window so I can show you. I do actually have a window for that. Like, there's a entire page for the documentation of Godot. And I'm just looking at it here. not that relevant for you, but if it interests anyone, that's how it looks. I guess I can just make it bold. Oh, I can make a line break here. That's good to know. But yeah, the bold italics is just how it is in, what's it called, Unicode? No, not Unicode, HTML. HTML. But I call it HTML because it's gratuitously German. HTML, yeah. So I can probably just highlight this. Which then should, yeah, highlight the opposite and intended. In which is expected to enter the area. So far, so good. Call when a node enters the scene. Yeah, that's just ready. Connect. How do I add a signal? Signal. What's the signal called? Body exited. Exited. That should be in the documentation now. And that doesn't link anywhere because it's part of of area 2D. So now if we check the documentation again, it should link me correctly to body exited in area 2D. Yeah, like that. Soak. 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 Did I just start typing something and never finish that? Seems like it. I'm sure that had a meaning someday, but I don't remember. So it just exists now. Yo! Nice. What does this function do? When a body exits, checks if the body... Can I check for a parameter of a function? Okay, yeah. I can just, if param body is a player and adjusts the limit of its player camera based on direction. Not the most profound stuff, but you know. Should I maybe add roughly... No, I think the limits explain themselves well enough that I don't need to explain how it accounts for the limits. So that's this class done. I think fully documented. Maybe I can rewrite that, but it's not that relevant. Player. Delta. A bit... that could use a little bit of work, but I think it's fine for now. Rigid body. Can I just link that way? Like, is that correct? Where? Where did I make a typo? Where did I do a typo even? Player camera. Oh, yeah. I mean, you are correct. You're correct. Rigid body 2D. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's most of it for the player done for now. I might rephrase it a bit later, but for now that's fine. For now I just want to have everything documented once, so I can make some more informed decisions on what I actually want to do next. Because currently data is all over the place, so having some sort of idea of where everything actually is would be nice. What is the tween for? What do you do? It tweens the player. It tweens the after image in question so that the after image just works. That the after image vanishes after a time. rid of that. Um, freeze this object once it between not param member? Is a member... What is a member actually? I don't like that face you're making. Let me just open the documentation for After Images really quick so I can actually read it. So, in ready, we creates the tween and modulates the sprite to the also connects signal tween dot finished. So now it should just say, yeah. Oh no. It's fine, I just closed all my scripts, it's fine. Can open them again. Player. Camera trigger. Actually, I don't need to open camera trigger again. We know that's finished for now. Then yeah. I guess I should add... I didn't know we have an init function here. Where did you come from? Initializes the sprite. Yeah, that's basically it. Referencing param sprite. Also Add values for member start color and member fade color. The sprites starting color used shift sprite so something like have a used to use shift effect matches. Sprite to the fade color. The basic idea with this obviously is that we can shift it to a different color even while it's modulating towards 0. Huge on after image as it fades out. Not particularly, you know, groundbreaking stuff. Queen used to modulate and fade out the sprite. Simple enough. Description. Images that can be spawned and fade out after short time. Not much to say about that beyond that. It's just after images. It's camera trigger, that's level. Level is going to be a pain to deal with. Mainly because I don't understand what I was doing when I was writing this code. Which, you know, is bad to hear, but it's fine. It's fine. Sure, it's fine. Called when this... What does ready actually do? Attaches... Actually, I'm curious about something really quick. I don't have a line break there yet. I should probably add that. Should also add one here. And ready whenever I find. That's yeah, line break. Just so it's more readable. because readability is actually kind of useful. Believe it or not. And camera trigger. The camera trigger. Camera trigger did actually have. A ready function. Level. What ready does? It attaches the level manager, like, or adds this as a child to the level manager. Adds this level as a child to the level manager. If it isn't. Then adds this level, then what? Oh. Adds all level in its children. Yeah, I'm still working on documenting my code. I kinda was lacking on that, and so I'm trying to do it now, because I don't know what else to do. Add to member connectors. I also learned a lot, like I recently found the documentation in Godot for how to write good documentation, which is very ironic. But here it is. But I definitely want to clean this up now, so I finally have proper documentation instead of struggling. I can send it to you right now. In fact, let me just send it in game dev. In my game dev channel. Sure, a lot of people can use that. At least a lot of the people who use. Actually, let me pin that. I think that's important enough to actually pin it. There. That should be useful for a lot of people who want to work with Godot. What does this function do? Connectors is here. And lastly, if let me just add that in a line break. If no level is designated as the designated in param level manager dot current level science this level as. Oh, so yeah, Yossi, how's it going? Sorry, I'm kind of distracted. Brain is very not brainy today, very unfocused. How are you? Both of you. I don't know if I asked you yet. As the current level instead. That should cover everything already, does? Let me open the documentation so I can see that I did it correctly. Level. Ready is documented. Level manager. Nice. That's good to hear. I know you've been struggling with that a bit. That's the best kind of subscription, subscriber notification. The kind that gives you existential dread. I can't believe how many YouTubers are retiring now. And I feel like it's just the time we have YouTube now. Like, I don't think it's going to be a thing that's going to go away. I just think we finally reached that point where it is realistic for enough YouTubers to retire. You get what I mean? And there are some YouTubers that I feel didn't want to retire that retired. But also a lot that are just... They are done with what they want to do. They have not much left to do. And they see their spot simply somewhere else. It still sucks though. Like, seeing a lot of YouTubers you are interested in watching just leave. But also, I do hope they find happiness in what they are doing now, so... The weird side of the internet, yeah, that makes sense. Binds the level connector in member connectors with yeah. And at the end of the day, if that works best for them, that's good. I'm happy for them. It's just also a shame seeing so many long-standing members of like long-standing content creators leave. It's weird, definitely. People change, yeah. Life changes. And sometimes things that used to work don't work anymore. And for example, Nate wants to battle. Recently, Zami retired. Actually, not Zami retired. He just retired. Because for him it was just he has enough. He can make enough money by selling his label that he can basically continue the rest of his life, or at least in foreseeable future, without needing to create content. Which for a lot of creatives can also open up a lot of opportunities, like being able to create without the pressure of needing to create is actually really good. levels connected via connector with... I don't actually quite understand how this works. Like, I understand it in theory, but I don't understand why it uses path for that. But I guess it just needs it for attach connector. Or via level connector. We still haven't written the documentation for level connectors, so currently that doesn't do anything, but that's why I should actually have the documentation for camera trigger still. Right. It loads all levels connected via level connector in member. Yeah! Yeah. And sure, it's not quite as drastic usually, that change, but it's still a change. Like, your example obviously cannot be quite taken as seriously as, like, it changes who you are as a person, but it does change you. Like, living for this long changes you. Yeah, exactly. But it does change you. If that can change in that much time, a lot can change. Loads of levels connected via level connector and level manager, and attaches them. Yeah, I agree. Where and calls method. Why is it? No, I'm upset. Why is it called method here, but function when I... Why is it function here, but method here in the documentation? I don't know why it's called method here. But yeah, it just... You learn a lot about yourself in... I mean, even in a year you can learn a lot about yourself. Learning your limits, learning what you want to do, what you can do, what you can't do. And it's just... It's important to understand... With all that information, it's important to make the best out of that. And for a lot of people, what they are currently doing might not be the best with what they do now, or what they can do now. Understanding your limits and what you want to do is very important in that regard. And that's, I think, why a lot of people are switching away from YouTube now. Because for a lot of people, it's been a very good journey. Like, it's been very successful, but it's also... It's a very stressful industry in a way. Like, method... to... Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. And part of that is just that content creation is so big now that how could you realistically manage all that content? Like, what we need to understand as well is we are probably not going to get away from algorithms. Because there is just that much content. Even if they were just not filtering it, like just throwing every content based on raw stats or whatever, nobody could deal with that information. Like, it's actually a very interesting. It's very funny that I can bring that back to game design now. It's actually a very interesting problem in game design. Tutorials. You cannot give too much information at once. If you try to give all tutorials, everything the player needs to know, give them all that information in the beginning, the player can't do anything with the data. It's too much, they can't really apply it, they can't really understand it, it's just text to them. That's why so many games give you a lot of smaller tutorial prompts nowadays. It's a discussion Silik and I actually had with that Sonic fan game recently, Robotnik's Ring Racer. In the beginning, it really suffered from over-tutorialization, where they gave you a lot of tutorials and didn't let you play the game before you got through them. Which not only were those tutorials pretty difficult, actually, they were also just a lot. Which made it very difficult for a lot of people to get into that. They have improved it a little bit from what I've heard, but it's definitely it's definitely a good example in my opinion for why managing your tutorials correctly and managing the information flow correctly is important. Attach connector. Find connector using method find connect. With the correct param. Yeah, it's a good method. Like, just having the player learn by experimenting is a good method. But the problem is it works a lot better if you already have experience with games. And we had a demo for one of the planets. We had a demo for that. There was no tutorial prompt for how to play, yeah. What happened? I didn't... There is no invisible wall, I thought. Oh, there is. How did you get there? How did we get there? That's it. Nobody is allowed on my side of the screen anymore. Is there a fill tool? No. Yeah, possible. Or just he despawn naturally. Like that happens if you don't chat for long enough. And then after starting to chat again, reappeared on the wrong side of the wall. So now I'm filling out the entire wall. Nobody gets to enter my side of the screen anymore. I hope you all are happy. Where was I? Using a method, find connector. And if I find the connector, I and moves the level to the correct position. Yeah, I think that's correct. So now we have the properties we need to describe, which is mainly connectors and spawn point. Spawn point on which the player spawns. Yeah, that sounds very exciting. I also need to rework my overlays, to be honest. I am very looking forward to that as well. I just need to find time, because, you know, I'm sure you can relate. Time is very rare. List of array, actually. Is array a class I can reference? Sure, nobody stops me. At least not yet. Oh yeah, that's... There has to be a way, and I'm pretty sure if there's a way, Silik knows it better than I do, but... Array of... what French just posted. Just... in the level. Level connector. First of all, I'm going to steal something from the documentation of camera trigger. Because you are an area 2D too. I don't know if the direction is as relevant in this case. Also, I forgot to... level class. I think... Yeah, they do have web sockets now, so I'm curious if they're... Firebot is amazing. I was considering using Firebot at some point, but I feel like Orbot is too much of a character to just replace at this point. I'll see what I can move around, to be honest. Because Firebot is cool. Level class. Mainly used by the level manager to determine I don't know exactly who made Firebot, but Firebot is a very powerful bot with a lot of options for building overlays, for yeah, Firebot is very strong in building an overlay. Like, it also obviously has the usual bot command thingies. I haven't looked too much into it, Silic knows a lot more than I do. But from what I know, it's very powerful. Yeah. To determine... manage... segments of the game world. Yeah. Ads are going to run in a bit. So... Not that you're going to miss much, to be honest, because I'm typing, but... I could use a break anyway, so... Silic streams occasionally, not a lot, but... he does do occasionally speedrun streams of SOB2. Without mic, but... Why not? Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, right. Orbot does it automatically. Now I understand why you're upset at me. And you're justified. Have your shout out anyways. Because Orbot is a very functional bot. Very functional. Where was I? Area that detects if a player travels between level also used to level connections. Let me open the documentation and then yeah, I hate this. We'll be right back. There was an attempt. Fine, I'll do it myself. Everyone gets shoutouts. Wrong scene. Completely wrong scene. There we go. Where was I? Right, I was documenting the... I hate this, first of all. Can I somehow add that to... Sometimes... See, this is why we're moving away from orbit. Rip orbit. We hardly knew you. Probably. Ha. Half of the level the connector connects to. He even figured out the game! Good job, Albert. Good job. What are you complaining about? It's a comp. Yeah. It's weird. But it's definitely still weird. Is this the height of the connector or the height of the level? The height of the concator area 2D. Actually, collision shape. Is this a class? It's not a class, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, figured. Collision shape 2D. So, by the collision shape 2D. And the width. Width of the collision shape. The area 2D collision shape 2D. In that case, I can replace this with member collision shape. Boop. Paste it in here, and yeah. Called when I'm pretty sure I wrote that before in camera trigger, so I might just copy that. The camera trigger and the level connector are actually very similar. Uh, not sure yet. We do celebrate. I think one day earlier. Yeah. That's usually what happens. I completely lost my thought here. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is that the camera trigger and the level connector are actually very similar, which makes sense to a certain degree. They are both triggers. Like, area triggers. Which I might actually make a class just for that and then have them extended. Yep. You make a fine point. Yeah. That does sound nice. Yeah, our mom usually takes the weekend and takes a vacation. Which, you know, is also fine, obviously. Exactly. Where was I? Level connector. Do I have anything else to add? I need to change this entire text because that's not true anymore. And switches current level. Yeah, I can imagine. If yeah. I can imagine that definitely makes things interesting. Yeah. That's a weird coincidence. Then again, we have talked about it before. I know way too many people born in November. This isn't even a class. Why are you not a class? I mean, yeah. But all three one day after another? Oh, yeah. That just makes it even weirder. Did you just choose to be born to complete the line? I guess I should make this a class. It is kinda relevant. What? Class level manager hides an autoload singleton. Do I? Oh, right. But shouldn't that still work if... Because this is the level manager I autoload. No? Yeah, that makes sense. Not a class. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. So do I need to change all the references where I reference to level manager, or... And yet you're still here, so... I would say, so who had the last laugh, but yeah, I'm glad both of you are here. Because you are amazing, both of you. Where do you do anything? No. I'll get you back later. So can I just... Clearly the answer is because you're both the same person from a different alternate universe. I mean, what? But if I reference level manager in the documentation everywhere, why does this work? How does this work? Adding an underscore. What does that do? But if it's different, can I even reference it with the same... But that's why I wanted to get the class name, so I can get the class for the level manager. But I don't want to reference it with underscore level manager. I want to reference the level manager that's also the autoload. But okay. But how do I then... I dislike this. Where do I reference the level manager? Surprisingly not here. Definitely here. Connector. This is a thing. That doesn't reference the level manager. You don't. Why should you? That also correctly doesn't... So I guess it works now. For the better or the worse. No, it doesn't. Why do you not work? It should reference the level manager. Let me just reload the project. So, does it now recognize the level manager? Not in player. Level. There we go. that doesn't recognize. Probably because I didn't document it yet. I did, just now, and it worked. No, because I'm a moron. That's why. Yep, that seems... Oh, I need to send you something. Later. I found a very funny video I think you would enjoy. Yeah, there we go. Now it works. Level manager. The level manager. Manages the level. I don't know, I'll figure something out later. That's official documentation. If anyone opens this project and reads the documentation, that's what they now find under level manager. I don't know, I'll figure something out later. But yeah, that is expected chaos, yeah. The player. Yeah, that's it. Level in which the currently is. The path of the current ever. Not particularly, you know, innovative, but it does the job. Now I need to understand what any of these functions actually do. This one is easy enough. Loads an instance of the current of the level with the path. Param path. This one is more complicated. Let's go through this step by step. Searches for a level in children with the scene by path. With the right path. Param path. I don't know why I'm writing param path here. That doesn't do anything. This isn't documentation. This is just a comment. If there's no active player, spawn spawns a player at the current spawn point. There's no player. Yes, I'm documenting code that I can just read perfectly fine. Yeah. I think documentation is very useful, but it can also make a project a bit cluttered. Like if you look at the player, for example, documenting the variables makes it a bit harder to read which variables you actually have. But yeah. Where was I? Level manager. The active player. So this is 3 steps basically. What happens if I do actually add a comment here? Just out of curiosity, because I want to know how that works. It doesn't. Which is, to be fair, what I expected it to do. It is about what I expected it to do, but good to know that I have that confirmed now. Levels. And reloads. But yeah, adding such comments like this one is also pretty useful because it just allows you to quickly go through a function and like I both agree and disagree. Like, I mainly just think it's a documentation issue because I can't really... There's no way I can, in my opinion, organize this better, but... So... just put it at the end? Is that what you're saying? We can check if it works. Because if it works, that's probably the better approach. Player, sprite. The sprite's still documented correctly. It is. In that case, that's way better. Yeah, that's very useful. Because I don't need to read that documentation again. And for functions, it's fine if it's above the function, you know, in question, because I'm not going to you know, a function just takes up more space to begin with, so 1 or 2 lines of documentation don't change much. That's fair. I mean, Godot is pretty straightforward in my opinion. Like, even if you don't know a lot about code, you can get some leeway out of it. And I think it's a good engine to learn coding. Because it doesn't expect too much from you. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't have been able to do stuff like this years ago. Not just because I didn't, you know, obviously when I was young I didn't have as much experience, but I don't think... I have a hard time learning. Which isn't really a surprise given my difficulties with uni, now that I think about it, but, you know. I'm also going to hate ever having to change the documentation here, but... And I'm probably going to have to, so maybe I should have waited with this until later, but... You know, too late. Oh, it's getting dark. Yeah, that's how I feel about a lot of things, honestly. Like, that's how I felt about Levelhead for a long time. That's how I felt about Mario Maker for a long time, before I just learned how to do things. And to a certain degree, I like tools that make it difficult to learn, because you can just... I like tools that have an easy way to get into, but a hard time actually mastering them. Oh, that sounds fun. Given how different the different Kongs are. French has mastered the jumping timing, the jump timing. It takes a time to learn how to properly make things. I can promise you my first sprites were pretty... I was not always as good as I am now, let's say it this way. That's an approach you can take. But why would you do that? But yeah, I think on the function it's fine if it's above, because you need to realize, if I take up a line for the documentation for the variables, I double the size of each variable, like they take up in this code. So keeping it visually a lot more streamlined like this is definitely helpful. Which of course means I need to now go through all the things I already documented again. It's fine. I'm not mad. All hail Shadow. I have seen it. I've written it. And I did it my way. If that's a good thing or a bad thing, it doesn't look that bad in the player code, but if you actually look at the ledge state, it's... or rather the fall state, it's... It's code that I have written. I mean, it could be fun. I don't know how good Shmup Maker is, but could be interesting to... Raycasts are great. Until you need to write this much code. Also, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. There's a Shmup Maker. I do actually need to check that out. Like, I also want to check that out. That sounds amazing. What? Oh! I get a feeling I know who you're talking about. Are you talking to me? In which case, rude. Oh, you are talking to me. Well, rude. You have no idea what went to making this. No. I'll look at that later. Can you send it to me in... So, or via DM, I don't know. I don't really care. But yeah, the ledge position code is... I wouldn't be half as upset about it if it didn't do so little. It genuinely doesn't do a lot. I didn't change anything. Anyways. Where was I? Yeah. 60... Oh, that is a lot. I do still think for people who don't know a lot about code, it might probably... Like, it's probably going to be better, but... Like, it's probably going to be worth it, but it's definitely... a lot. I think for the enum it's fine if I keep it that way. Oh, I know what the changes were that I made in Ledge. I'll fix it later. We'll get to that class again, so... yeah. Oh, the new Sonic game. I don't know if you've seen it, but I did post it in the Discord. I also posted a post on my YouTube about it. It's... Let me actually copy that. Can I copy that post? I can. Yeah, I made a post on my YouTube about it. The new Sonic game, it certainly exists. And I mean, it looks neat. It's just interesting that it's, you know... Interesting is probably the word to go by, yeah. Uh... One sec. It's just the game looks interesting, like the concept of a multiplayer, like basically Sonic Fall Guys is fun, I guess, but it's weird that it's even lagging in the trailer. Like, that's something you shouldn't... Even if your game is laggy, you should hide that in the trailer. It's not something you should just show. Because it makes me think you just can't play the game without lag. Because if they can't get footage without lag, the ones who made the game. Oh no. That is... Ooh. Yeah. I don't think I need to add a comment to that. I don't think it gets more clear than adjust position. I mean, most of this code is relatively clear. I just prefer having comments to kind of split it into different sections. Because it makes it easier to read for me. Especially with longer functions like this one. Or, you know, that one. And now I know what I changed that it wanted me to save. Yeah. So this... What this does... That's impressive. Also probably a pain to write. And that's kind of again, this is kind of why I couldn't get into RPG Maker, I think. There's so much that it doesn't tell you enough for the basic functions, and even from what I could tell of the basic functions, it's not... You have a hard time figuring out what to do. I still want to figure it out because it seems cool, but... I love cake. Mmm, cake. Oh, there was a... Sorry, I hit my mic. There's a interesting video on the topic of Portal 2 in that regard. Not Portal 2, Portal. Regarding the whole cake thing. It's an interesting discussion on how meme culture and spoilers and all that kinda just work together to create weird in-jokes that can even ruin a game. Yeah. That makes sense. Current level member. Current level to the child to a level in children with right harem path. Also readjusts position of all levels to be calls method just to readjust game word. Then unloads and reloads. Levels appropriately. Accordingly. No, I'm not trying to get a good grade on my English exam right now. I'm not inventing new words because of it. Yeah. I think it's important to keep in mind that people who work with your stuff are probably not people who have experience with what they're working with. Yeah. That's a big deal, I think, in general. That is currently kind of an issue in especially open source, but also in general, just people having the expectation that you have the same skill as they have if you're going to work with their tools. While a lot of tools are would be especially useful for people who don't have that skill level. Levels except harem. It should be every function at least, level manager. Yeah, I can see that. it's kind of why I have a love-hate relationship with Rivals of Eve for modding. Rivals has a very fleshed out system based on basically compatibility. So you have yeah. Yeah, what I was going to say. Rivals has a very big scene around compatibility with mods. So, for example, you can have your character's name appear on a stage or something like that. And it's equally very fleshed out and very not. Like, there's a lot of thought behind it, but at the same time, there's a lot of mixed work. Like, a lot of people don't follow rules, some people do follow rules. There used to be a mod that basically handled all compatibility for you, or help you set it up. But that mod at some point was just too big to maintain, so... And there's still no proper list of mods that do offer such compatibility, and it's such an interesting topic to me. Because I wish there was such a list. I've been working on writing such a list for a while, but I never got to finish it. I had also hoped to, at some point, make a template that implements all the compatibility, or makes it easier to implement. Oh, adjust compatibility isn't here because it's private. But wait, this is private too. Now I'm confused. Oh, I just haven't documented it yet. I thought I did. How did I just skip it? Anyways. I will take care of that in a little bit. First I need to go through... Ads are going to start in like a minute, so I'm going to quickly sort my thoughts here. Try to understand what this does. Determine offset based on the new current level. Adjust position of all levels, of all loaded levels, should I say. Is someone hammering? Adjust of the player. Camera limits and offset. In theory, theory, that should work that way. I mean, I can see it. It might not work for offsets. I can actually check that. Nope, it works just fine. Of the player camera. Anyways, I'm going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Wrong scene again. I haven't done game dev in too long. Forget my scenes. I actually find it interesting though that in the documentation, private functions don't show up unless I specifically add them. Unlike properties which do actually show up. But anyways, I'm actually wondering if I should document the private functions since they are, well, private. Also, this is on the wrong end of this. It should be up here. Adjust offset of all levels and player camera. Not much to add here, really. Yeah. Although again, part of me wonders if I should even include these since they are private functions, so that knowledge is actually kind of useless. Or not useless, but irrelevant. Because that's function that you shouldn't be able to use anyway. Or outside of this class anyway. Oh well. That's a problem for another day. Yeah, I know. It makes it just so much easier to make it, you know, where you can actually reference all that stuff. Like, you can actually go through the documentation properly and just jump from one space to another. Just like you can go through the stuff of Dogos. Ah, yes! Dogo! Waiting for Dogo! Who's a good engine? Yeah! I definitely think it's a very... That's why I'm doing this, because it's such a good tool. How are the limits of a camera defined? Camera... Career. 2D. Left limit. Use on a camera. There's really not a lot to say here to these variables because they're basically just... Yeah, they're just variables. Bottom limit. Right limit. Yeah. Sure, like, I get what you mean, so like, but like, it's... If you want to document stuff, this is so powerful. And you should document stuff because it's useful. It makes it so much more approachable, both from an outside and insider perspective. Draw Q's redraw. I can't spell today. Snake K, yeah, right. Beep. Limits in the editor. That's it. What does that do? Point. Yeah. It's fine if you don't have it completely clean and all, but it's always useful to... When property is changed. Okay. That's already limit done. Node to the scoring limits for a camera. As reference for a camera. Useful for camera triggers. Or used in. And that's already it. But yeah, it is so useful. And again, there is a whole documentation for that, which makes this super easy to work with. So I can literally just check this table what I need. So yeah. I am going to have to rewrite the player documentation at some point, but I'll probably keep that for later. I might do that off stream. Because the documentation is functional, just not particularly, you know, it's not ideal. Let's say it this way. You referenced the limit nodes, right? I probably have to reload the engine for that as well. I'll do that later. It's just convenient because I can literally just click on stuff and get sent to the appropriate function, class, whatever. Now the player camera. I miss Sonic and the Fallen Stars. I wanted to edit my playthrough of it at some point into a video, but it's such a drag to go through. Because I do think the game is very shallow once you actually detach yourself from the moment to moment. Not a lot actually happens in that game. What does the lerp offset do? It's a... camera can lerp. Camera to the attached to the... that is attached to the great that is attached to the player. Follows the player with a certain offset set. Based on the movement. Love speed. Speed at which the camera lerps ahead. I'm not... I am frustrated that there's just a word called lerp. Now that we have a player class, I don't think there should actually be a character body 2D anymore. I think it should actually be a player. Not that much changes by changing this. cameras, player. Factor by which the camera looks ahead of the player. Not sure how better to describe that, so ready doesn't do actually anything, so we might as well. Called every frame. Param delta. It's the elapsed time since the previous frame. I'm trying to understand what I'm doing here. I understand roughly what I'm doing here. Loops. Ah, yes, this comment. This comment explains it all. This definitely explains what this function does. I do think we actually fixed it, so I think I can remove it now. No, I do think we actually fixed it. So we can just remove it. We did fix the lapse the camera offset if the camera isn't at its limit. Member let me open this player camera. Yeah. So I think that's that's everything for the player camera. Spawn point. Actually, I should probably keep those in all the classes. I'll add them back later. How? It's probably not completely correct, but should use when spawns. And now we can copy that and put it back where it should be. Out of our sight, mainly. What did I write to have Speedbooster in player? Checks if the player has access. Yeah, that's basically it. Just that I can link to the class player because we aren't just in the player. You wouldn't believe it. It spawns the player. Okay, to be a bit fairer to this instantiate player and add it to the tree. Sets all value relevant. I'm sorry, but I do have to say the spawn player function does in fact spawn the player. I know, it's hard to believe. Relevant values of the spawn player. Not a lot, to be honest, but it is what it is. This isn't a class yet, so I've been documenting nothing. But I do actually think it's worthwhile to make it a class. Oh, it does work without it being a class? Interesting, I didn't know that. You could have told me that before I made the level manager class. I do think it's better to make it a spawn point, make it a class though. It does what it says on the tin. Let me open that documentation as well, just to check if it works. At this point I am pretty certain that it does, but yeah. I'm really happy with this though, like, I am happy that this is now a thing I can do. It is very useful. State! That's... state to be used with state machine. Actually, no. I don't think I need to add that. the state machine. Nah, that's it. There's not much to add to that. Hashtag to-do. Not to-do. Make entity class. You know, if I have two to-dos that tell me I should make an entity class, I should maybe make an entity class at some point. Okay, I can put it over that. This is just entity. Member. Velocity. Maybe. Or he was just very lazy in the past. One of the two. Maybe both. When the state is entered. Since this doesn't do anything, that's all I need to write here. That's called whenever the state machine. Called during the physics process step of the main loop while it is the current state. While being in the current state. Param input event. I did actually start documenting this. Handles current input event while being the current state. Can probably steal a lot from call when the animation is finished. Finished while being the current state. Exits the current state. Oh no. Changes the current state to param next state. Next state. Returns to the previous state. Yeah, that's basically already it. This one is already somewhat documented. So I just need to clean up the documentation a little bit. Entity to the make an entity class. Do it. I can be so wonderfully sassy to myself. The initial state. The currently active state. History of all. Array. I didn't check if array is a thing, actually. Where are we? State machine. I also didn't open state, so might as well. State machine. Is array a thing? Oh. It is. I didn't expect it. Containing the history of all states. The state machine has changed too. Used for method back. Yeah, I mean, that's a weird part, because types in other languages are weird. Yeah, it's a native type, if I remember correctly. Which, you know, is always fun. Dictionary. Oh no, not the yes'ns. I think I remember why I don't like. Yeah, I don't think I remember why I don't like JavaScript. Does them into states. Oh no, array-ish. Enters them into the... what's the dictionary called? States. Member... Nope. Get out of here. Member states. Not to be confused with member states. enters the member start state. Which is probably spelled like this actually. Oh, it isn't. Whoa. No, that's correct. Yeah, because it's a node. So that's correct. I hate truthy and falsies. I mean, I think the concept is very useful, but like, yeah, it exists. Previous. Changes member state. Actually, member current state. Previous state in member history. History. I think I just started to hate JavaScript even more. I didn't think it was possible anymore, but here we go. Okay. Actually, I think I do prefer phrasing it how I phrased it in state. And to current state. I don't think I need to add handles. Yeah. To be fair, that's where I start to just give up on coding. Like, not actually give up, but you know. State, machine, different states of an entity. ensures that states can't progress to others unintentionally. Yeah. Okay. So that's all the classes, that's all the scripts managed now, right? We have the documentation for all our scripts. Right? 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 So let me just clear this out real quick. And open all our state scripts that I never documented. So, I don't think they need a state, like they need a class name, because they are very player specific. So yeah. Entered by the windbreaking. And that's probably how we are going to call all of these in the documentation. I'm also going to steal the names and documentations of these. Yeah, JavaScript is... Again, I think it's very interesting to learn, but it's also a pain. And answers running. Yeah, that's basically it already. Then that one is called when quoting the yeah. Yeah. That's why, that's to a huge part also why RPG Maker for a long time had that kind of stigma around it, that all RPG Maker games look kind of samey. Because making it look different from what I see is very difficult. Like, even just from looking into it, I couldn't figure out how to do it. Because it seems not possible. What do you do while and exit once the player stop moving. Once they stop moving. Calls method exit once they stop moving. Actually, I need to state.exit because it doesn't have its own exit function, so I need to reference state.exit. Because most of them don't override the exit function because they don't need to. Exits into idle. Which, how do I reference idle? If it isn't a class. Do I just need to copy the file path? Great! I'm first going to paste somewhere where you can... Okay, yeah, I figured it wouldn't include any sensitive data, but if you before pasting a file path in, it's always good to check. Let me just open this. Break. So I don't think I need to include the res part. But I don't know, I'll know that once I document idle, I guess. But yeah, this is probably how all of these are going to go. Because pretty much all of them have an enter function, so I'm just copying the enter function here. Just renaming for... Doesn't do anything else. Fixed update. If move player exit into landing ledge grab or wall slide depending on breakers. So here's the funny thing, it doesn't actually handle any of the falling. Like, it doesn't handle any of the falling code. Lost player to move while falling. This is a lot more work than I expected it to be. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm happy that I'm doing this. It's good progress. I think worthwhile to do. It's just a lot I need to take care of. Allows the player to move while falling. How did I say that? Exit into either landing if colliding with the floor. Either landing or rather land. Once they stop moving, if they are colliding. Actually no. If they are colliding with the floor, unless... No. No, unless. Exit into... either wall. Oh. I think I accidentally, yeah. I made a mistake. If colliding with the ground, or no, nope. I don't have anything under control now. I should anyway take a break. I'll be right back. Okay, then let's continue. Nah, wrong scene. Colliding with the ground. Exits into either wall or ledge. Depending on the ray cast that are colliding. Way too many raycasts to take care of. And I don't need to go into that much detail about it. So... when falling... idle! The default state of when no other states apply. Now in theory, the idle that link should work, because I have a documentation for idle. In theory, anyways. So... why does this one show up as fall? I'm not saying it shouldn't, it's just weird. Because that one... you know what I don't want to know, that... I don't think I don't want to know. Does that work? Oh, that does work. Okay, so that's the strat. Just path without. It's useful because then I can at least go from one state to another in the documentation, even if it's likely not relevant. Yeah. Coyote timer. Timer until the state exit into source entities, players, states, ball.gd. Enter! And we copy the same text we have copied the last few times. Plays either the teeter or idle animation, depending on if the player is standing on a ledge or not. Which I need to rework that a bit. Oh no, I'm turning barbarian. I need to rework that depending on that. But for now, that's not too relevant. Then wrong function. That one's more like it. What did I say in fall? Into walk, slide, or fall. Depending. On input. And position. Player dot city.x to 0. Method. Not method, member. Either walk or slide. To either. Let me just copy that. Thank you. To either walk or slide. If the appropriate input is pressed. Input. Why do I spell that as input? Exits into if the player bin of the ground for is off the ground. And yeah, there's technically also something about the theta animation, but that's just resetting it if necessary. Then in state we have handles if input is if the param event is jump exits into source entities players states jump Godot. I still have a lot of states ahead of me. I think I'm going to call it relatively soon. We have been making some decent progress in documenting it, and that's all I really wanted to achieve today. So I'm happy with this. I don't know why that one is listed different. Oh, the last one is just listed differently. That's weird. But okay, this works somewhat. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. Let me see if we can find someone to raid. Yeah, a lot of options, honestly. Let's raid. Let's raid Opto. He has been going through a little bit of a rough time, so let's support him a bit by saying hi and yeah. I don't know what he's going to do today, but yeah. I don't have a raid message really. I guess raid message is my code is such a mess with whatever radio mode you want. Yeah, I'll see you all around. Probably going to finish this off stream, the documentation stuff, and next week we're probably going to continue Arceus and maybe start Eternal if I'm feeling well. But yeah, until then, bye.